Hey everybody, have you wanted to learn how to make money online? Or maybe you want to start a side hustle or just let out your creative side a little bit? Well, then this is the show for you. I am going to show you how you can, as a total beginner, make money online by publishing low content books onto Amazon. And the great thing about that is once they're out there and online, you can continue to earn royalties for pretty much forever. So we're going to talk about a great tool today, Bookbolt, and I love using it. It's really for the beginner, and if you don't know anything about publishing online, this is something you can do and learn, and definitely have something out there very quickly. Within 30 minutes, 20 minutes, you can have your own book out on Amazon and hopefully making you money. All right, so if you are interested in that, please like and subscribe to my channel, Publish with Ashley. Hi everyone, I'm Ashley, and I want to encourage you to learn how to create money online, learn how to be creative, and I want to teach you how to skills to make a business out of this, to really build an income and a life that you love. So if you're interested in that, like I said, please like and subscribe to my channel. So we're going to get into how to create your first book on Amazon with Bookbolt. And it's a great tool, and it makes it so much beginner friendly. It's just easy for people to do and start with, and it's kind of a one-stop shopping. It's got a lot of tools in it that you can use. So we're going to get right in, and I'm going to show you on my screen. All right. Hey, this is future Ashley here while I'm editing, and I just wanted to make sure I let you know that I'm going to be showing you Bookbolt here in just a second and how to use it, but I wanted to make sure you knew that if you wanted to use it through my link, you get 20% off. Just look at the coupon in the description below and use that. All right, here we are on Bookbolt, and I am going to show you how you can use this really great tool to create a book really quickly. But first, I wanted to introduce you to the homepage, and it has some free resources. So if you're a little unsure, you want to try Bookbolt out, or at least try a few features out, there are some great features that are for free. So I wanted to show you and introduce you to those so that, if you're not into buying a tool yet, you don't have money yet, this is something that you can use, and it's a great way to get started. All right, so under this resources tab, there is the KDP category finder, which helps you Amazon, it's not really, you can check out my video. I have one on KDP categories, but they do not make it easy to find categories. So this is a good way to do a search engine based, and you can type in your keyword and see if you can find a category that fits. All right, the next is the interior wizard, and I'm actually going to show you that. I'll open that up in just a second, and they have free interiors that you can download. So if you're a beginner, you don't know what you're doing, this is a great place to start to get some free interiors just to make your first couple of books, because I always think you should start small. Make a few books. Your first ones are not going to be your best, so it's good to try and make it easy as you can for your first book or two, because you're learning, and that's okay. All right, so we'll get into that in a sec, but this PDF combiner is really cool. If you have two PDFs, like say you have a front page or a few front pages with like this book belongs to, that sort of thing, and then you have your journal pages after that, that would be in, maybe if you have those in two separate PDFs, you can merge those together. So this is a really great tool to be able to merge PDFs together. All right, so let's look real quick on the interior wizard. And like I said, this is free. So not all of these are free, some are paid, but it's really good to go and check out. So you're just going to click on that, click the interior wizard, and here you go. See how it says members only log in? So those are ones that are, if you have this tool as a paid tool that you can get. But look, there's quite a few. Blank pages with numbers, college ruled, notebook paper, music sheet, career plan, to-do list, mood trackers. There's quite a few things. You can kind of scroll all the way down and see. I'm not even going to scroll all the way down, but you can see there's a lot. And basically, you're going to choose no bleed or bleed. If you're beginner, I usually say go with no bleed because you don't know what you're doing, and bleed kind of requires a little bit more knowledge of what you're doing. So just go with no bleed. It'll make it easier on you your first few. And then you can choose your size. So these are the various KDP sizes. and you choose how many pages. And we'll get a little bit more into that when I demo that, but I just wanted you to see that there are free tools out here. So we're going to go back to the page and I'm going to log in and show you. All right, so I am logged in here on Bookbolt, and you can see there, this is the page where there's a lot of tutorials. So I'm on the tutorial page, and you can see there's a ton of tutorials, which is great. Bookbolt is really great about having tutorials and showing you how to do it. And they also have over here, there's webinars. They'll do different trainings there. So Bookbolt really has a lot of great training and information and up-to-date items that really make it, you know, easy and user-friendly. So what I really like about Bookbolt are the tabs I tend to use the most. There's kind of two sections. If you look here and there's the drop down, you have research and create. So we're on the research tab right here, and that's really kind of all the types of things to determine what type of book, what keywords you're going to use, what's out there. For that, really the two I tend to use are the product search and the cloud. Those are kind of the ones I like to use a lot. So let's start with the product search. And what I decided to do for a book for you guys to something to create and demonstrate is I'm going to make a blank music notes. So your music paper where it just has the staff lines, and then you can draw on your notes and make your own music basically. So blank sheets of music paper. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put music sheets in. I've already typed it, you see, and I'm going to hit search. And I'm going to see this is going to show me what types of products are selling right now. Okay. So you can see that there's different types of, this is kind of the thing I'm talking about, these blank sheets. Okay. And it's going to show me what sort of things are selling. And it's just going to give me kind of some ideas about, so it gives me the BSR, which that means bestseller rank. If you don't know, that's how, it's what, like if you were #1 in the store, your BSR would be 1. If you're, in this case, you're 935,168. And it gives you kind of an estimated sales. But this kind of gives you information on titles and subtitles. And so these are some great things. So this is kind of what I'm talking about, this blank music notes sheets. Okay. So that's what I'm going to demo today. The other place I like to go, this gives me ideas, like I said, about the title I want to call it, what the notebooks look like, you know, as far as what style I want or what style is popular, that sort of thing. It also gives you about like how many sheets. I'm going to do one that's 100 sheets because that's kind of pretty standard. But you can see if you scroll through here that 100 is, you know, it's pretty standard. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and we're going to check out this cloud function, and it's a little bit different. But what I like about the cloud function is, let's say I don't know what I want to do. I don't have an idea. I don't know. So what I could hit like top 100 and you can click different things. And so what I did to come up with this music sheet idea, I had gone to, here it is, music sheets, and I'm hitting search. Okay. And it's going to bring back like the top 100 in that category. And here we go. See, this one is selling really well. Where we go. So it's estimated to have 425 sales a month. This one right here, 541. And these are just guesses based upon what the BSR, the bestsellers rank, is at this point in time. But you can see how they have, I want to say, a focus. Easy piano sheet music for kids, right? That's kind of a focus. Here we have music notebook wide staff. And this one has 125 pages. And we're going to take note of sizing. This is an 8 by 10. I know some of these other ones are 8.5 by 11. So, but this is the kind of thing that you'll see, and you're just going to kind of look through and say, oh, yeah, I want to make one that looks like this, or I want to make one that is focused on Christmas, the giant book of Christmas sheet music. Now this is probably actual filled out sheet music. This isn't blank, but maybe you make a Christmas present with a people want to write their own Christmas music or something like that. That could be something. So this is a way to get ideas. Sometimes I just like to pick a category and see what comes up and see what's selling. So these are the top 100 with that category. And it's interesting to see what's out there. So those are the two I tend to use the most in this. This keyword function here, you type in, if I would type in music sheets, it would give me other ideas of keywords. But I want to show you, once you have your idea, how Bookbolt is that one-stop shopping as far as it does a lot of things. So we're going to move over to the create mode. And you have choices of Puzzle Whiz, which is a puzzle-based software. So it does Sudoku, word searches. There's quite a few puzzles, and you can look that up. There's the designer key, which is what we're going to use, and then the mass cover converter. If you had a bunch of things that you could convert into notebook covers, you could use this. But what you're really going to probably do is this designer. Okay, I'm logged on here and I've opened it up, and I get to pick the cover or interior. Right now I'm going to work on the cover. Since I know I want to do a music sheet, when I go to make the interior, it's going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to download some music sheets. Okay, but I decided I want to make mine 8 by 10. Because that was one of the standard sizes that I saw. I want white paper interior. Your choices are colored paper, and cream paper with interior. So the cream paper is a black and white. The color actually has color, and the white paper interior is a black and white. So you're only going to get black and white with that. So you want to pick that. Just because obviously your interior, if it's just blank lines with the staff notes and things like that, or the lines for the music sheets, it's just going to be black, right? There's no color. Now, I remember I decided I wanted to do 100 pages. Now, I want to talk about pages. So it's going to be 100 pages. If you were to write 1, 2, there would be 100 pages, but that's actually 50 sheets of paper. So hopefully that makes sense. I know that sometimes confuses people, but when they're talking page count, they were like, if you actually wrote on the pages 1 and then you flipped it, the next one would be 2, 3, right? But that would be 50 sheets of paper, but 100 pages. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Now you're going to hit submit, and it's going to take a little bit to create the template, but it doesn't take that long. It kind of depends upon your internet connection and who's on the server. All right, now here's what I actually had uploaded before, but I'm going to start out with something blank so you can see it, but that's what we're going to create. We're going to have that pattern. Now, there's different types of things that you can do. Is if you're going to start making your interior, you could go over here and do your interior, or just kind of read through. You can actually, right now it's at white, but let's say I just wanted to make it a solid color and then drop graphics on, you could do that. You can also, if you know the hex color of a certain color you want, you can write the hex color in, and you can do that. Okay, so I'm just going to have it white because it doesn't matter. I'm going to actually drop something in. There, you can add your own images. That's what I've done here. That's what I'm going to work with. So I actually purchased these off Deposit Photo because actually Creative Fabrica and Deposit Photo is where I actually purchased these from. So that's what I'm going to use for this, but you could use what is inherent on Bookbolt. You could find things that have commercial use licenses. Just make sure wherever you get your graphics from that it has commercial use license. Now, anything on Bookbolt, like for example, these shapes, yes, you can use these all. They're just some basic shapes. You can definitely use all that sort of stuff. Definitely use those. So what we've got is you could draw on this. There's layers. Layers, think of it exactly like layers of paper. You have one piece of paper, the next, the next, and the next, next. But you can kind of think of them as see-through sheets of paper in the sense that each layer would, like if you added, let's do this graphic, right? This is one layer, and then this layer is on top. So this would be over that, and then but everything else except for this is showing is transparent, right? So that's kind of the idea with layers. You can kind of think of them as literally sheets of paper stacked on each other, and you could move them if you wanted to. All right, there is effects you can do, distressing, various things, and you can do different masking, but we're just going to stick with some basic stuff here. I'm going to show you how easy this is to make something. So like I said, I have just literally dragged and dropped these images in here. So we're going to start with what I want to call the base pattern. So I am just going to drop this in, right? And this is a big graphic, so it's telling me it might be a little slow. Okay, so there, I've got that set in there. Now I'm going to go down here and copy it. And I'm going to go over here. And this is a seamless pattern, which means it should match right up. Now, sometimes I have a hard time seeing that, so I zoom in to make sure it's not quite right. So I'm going to fiddle with it until, this is actually the hardest part. There we go. And now it's back. So let me unclick and make sure it looks good. Yes, it does. There's no line or anything. That's actually really the hardest part. I know that seems like that's the hardest part. Yes, that is. Okay, so now I have this cool splotchy thing. And the idea I wanted to do with this is I want to make it smaller. Where is it? There it is. And I'm going to put it, oh, I know, this still has an effect. See, it has, I was fiddling with the effects. So there you can see what the effects actually are. Let me show you that. So what it's going to do is going to distress the whole thing. So let's say this is already distressed. So I don't want it extra distressed. That looks kind of messy. But let's say it didn't have that distressed. I could add it. So we're going to undistress it there. And this was because I was just playing with it to make sure I had everything set for you guys to show you the demo. So what this is going to be is, this is your cover, right? So this is your back cover and this is your front cover. Now that may seem weird because we normally read right to left, right? But think of this as you're going to fold this in half, and so this will end up being the front and this will end up being the back. So you want your front on this side. This is where your front cover is going to be your title page, and this is the back page. All right, so that's kind of how this is set up. Now, these lines along the outside here, these are your margins and spine. This middle one right here is your spine. And you can, here, let me move this over so you can see a little better. See this orange part? This is like actually, the orange part is where it actually ends up folding over. And there's a little bit of margin of error. So you don't want anything, any writing, anything close to these orange lines. You definitely want it inside, but you really don't want it all that close either. Anything important that you, like writing. This, since it's a whole pattern, obviously it'll be fine. And same with these edges. But this middle white here is the actual spine. So we're going to do something kind of fun with that. Oops, let me hit undo, undo. There we go. So it's back together. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to actually put, I want to put a spine on. I think these look really good if you put kind of an extra little spine. So I'm going to go over here and actually put this rectangle on. And this rectangle I can squeeze down like that. So let me make it a little bit taller. And I'm going to squeeze it down like that. Okay, so what this actually is it is, if you've ever seen those spines that wrap around, it's kind of like a wrap around colored spine. You see this a lot in composition books, but I think it looks really neat on these kind of pattern designs because it gives a little bit of contrast between the pattern and then the spine. And I call it kind of a wraparound spine. So I'm going to add that on because I think it adds a little bit extra and it makes it look a little more professional. But here is where I'm going to put my title. So I need this centered between here and here. So you're going to kind of center it between this line and then this right here, this, because I have this wraparound. Now, if this wraparound wasn't there, I would actually center it along this edge of this orange between that and here. But because I've kind of added an extra decorative, it looks better if I, and sometimes actually I think it's easier to center it between here and here than way over here and here. But we'll fiddle with that as we add our title in. Okay, so that looks pretty good, but we're going to add a title. So we're going to go over here up to text. And there's all these different text. You can do a mass text effect. You can make it curved. You can do different things, but I'm just going to do straight text. You can load more fonts if you want, but I had actually loaded this one on that I kind of liked. And I'm going to take, and this is going to actually say, remember we're going to call this a music sheet, but we're going to do, this is actually, I was thinking of teacher gifts, music teachers rock. And actually I want to do them on 3 lines. So there we go. All right, so now it says music teacher rocks. I'm going to go move it into place over here. And it's a gray color right now. I don't like that. So I'm going to go over this little bucket that looks like a paint bucket. And I want it to be, this is the stroke color, and then this is the color I want to actually change. So I'm just going to click on that, and I actually want that to be white. So I'm good with that. Close that up. Music teachers rock. Okay, that's kind of what I want it to say. Maybe I want it about, let's say about that big. And now what I want to do is, so that you can read it really well, I'm going to kind of move my splotch here a bit. And I'm going to kind of squeeze in my splotch. There we go, so that you can read it pretty good. Maybe I'll go like that. Okay, so you're just going to fiddle with it until it looks good. And I want the music teachers actually to be centered. So I clicked on it, and I'm going to move it so it's centered between here and this edge. Okay, and I think that looks pretty good. There we go. I've got a cover that says Music Teachers Rock. And I want to talk to you a little bit about why I decided to make my cover this. So you have to name your cover, your book title, the same exact words that are on your cover. And my title is going to be Music Teachers Rock. And then my subtitle is going to be Blank Music Sheets for Music Lovers, or I'm going to have something like that. So my title is going to be Music Teachers Rock, and actually my subtitle is where I'm going to say that it's Blank Music Sheets, because the 2 most important things that are searchable for your book are your title and your subtitle. So you want to create a title and subtitle that is searchable. So if someone was searching for a gift for their music teacher, this is perfect, right? It's exactly maybe what they would want. It says something fun for their music teacher, and then it has an interior that they would enjoy. So that's kind of what I think about when I create my stuff. I don't just create it to say journal, or I don't just create a book that's a blank music notebook. I create the book or the idea for someone. What could they use it for? So that's kind of my tip for you guys. When you create something, create it for someone, for something that they can do with it. Make it have a purpose. Make it say, oh, that's perfect for my music teacher. They're kind of grunge rock. They like to write their own music. I want to get them something that they would really enjoy. So that's kind of why I thought of this. I really kind of loved this background. It reminds me of one of my music teachers. So that's why I came up with this. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're basically going to go over here. It looks good. I'm going to hit download, and it might take a second to download. And what it's going to do is it's going to prepare a PDF. A PDF is what you are able to upload to KDP for a cover. You could use their book designer, but it's not very good. It's okay. I did use it for my first books a long time ago, but I am glad that I have graduated past it, because it's not all that great. So this will actually create a PDF that you can upload directly to Amazon. All right, it's ready to download. So you would hit your design is ready, download. And it's going to open up that PDF. And all you need to do, if you open it and it looks good, you're just going to download it again and actually save it. So yes, it looks like what I wanted it to look like. If I want, I can kind of make it smaller. You know what's nice to do too is, remember, people buy things based on a thumbnail. So often what I'll do is I'll make it as small as it can, 25% in this particular view, and see if I can read it. Music Teachers Rock. Yeah, I can read that really well. So you want the font to be really legible so that people can, you know, read what it is from the tiny little thumbnail they get to read on Amazon. So this is a good check for that. I like it, so I'm going to hit download. And once it goes and downloads, we're just going to hit save. And, you know, depending on what previewer you have, it might look a little different. So now I have that saved. I'm going to go back to my Bookbolt Designer. I'm going to X that out, and I am going to go to my interior. So it's going to open up. You saw this in the free. Since I'm logged in, I have all of the things ready, but I'm going to click on this music sheets right here. And I'm going to make this 8 by 10, same size as my cover, and the same number of pages. So 100. I'm clicking no bleed because, like I said, when you're first starting, just click no bleed. It'll be way easier on you. And then you have to make sure on the KDP that you and the interior uploader that you use that as well. So I'm going to hit download. Okay, and here I have my 100 sheets of paper. Like, was that not super, super, super easy to have your interior? So all I've got to do is hit save, and I will save that. Since I had those two pieces saved, I am now going to my Kindle Direct Publishing dashboard, the bookshelf in fact, and I'm going to create a paperback. So I'm going to hit paperback here. All right, so I have my book opened, and like I said, we have those main things that you're going to search for: book title, subtitle. Now, remember, if your book isn't in English, you can drop down and change this to what it should be, but mine is going to be English, so I don't have to worry about that. But remember, I have to use for my title exactly what I had on the cover, which was Music Teachers Rock. Okay, that's really important. You will get it returned to you if you don't do that. Now, my subtitle does not need to be on the cover. It can be on the cover, but it does not have to be on the cover. So I am going to actually go back here to Book Cloud, and we had some of these examples, right? So let's see, what would be a good one? Music writing, so it'd probably be blank sheet music notebook or blank sheet manuscript paper or wide staff. Okay, so we're going to do music, blank sheet music manuscript paper. We're going to say blank sheet music paper. We're just going to say that. You can go through and decide, but you just want to kind of pick something that definitely makes sense, definitely something that you think people might search for. So blank music sheets, people are definitely going to probably search for. So blank music sheet paper. And then let's put for writing your own music. Actually, I don't want to reuse music, so I'm going to write melodies. Now, if you're an aficionado of music and it should have been harmonies versus melodies, sorry, you know, pick something you know something about. I'm just trying to use something other than the word music just to kind of make it sound good. All right, now I need to decide on a name. Let's just use my name, Ashley Schmidt. Okay. Now, I don't have another contributor for this. You're going to write some sort of, if you had a contributor, you could definitely put that, but you're going to write some sort of description in there. You have to write something. So you want to write something that tells about the product. Look and see what's out there, but I'm just going to write something in so that I can go to the next screen. So, want the perfect gift for your music teacher. Grab this blank music sheet note book. Right? Okay. You definitely make it better than this, but that's just kind of my example. I'm clicking that. You own the necessary publishing rights. Now, these 7 keyword boxes you are going to fill out based upon this word cloud. So I would probably put manuscript paper, staff paper, wide staffed. Let's see. What else would make sense? You have to think what people would search for. So that's really what the keywords are. Remember, Amazon doesn't have like a storefront, like a bookstore where you walk around and see what you're looking for. You actually have to type things in. So you're just going to kind of look through this and see on Bookbolt. The other one, like I said, you can also look on the cloud or the keyword, and this actually is a cloud. Look on the keyword finder and you look for different searchable terms. All right. So that's what you're just going to put those in. And then you're going to pick up to 2 categories. And these, like I said, are really hard to find. But remember, Bookbolt has that neat search function. So let's go over and check that out. I'm going to go on and click right here, KDP categories. And this is going to come up and you can put in a keyword. So I'm going to put music. Okay, let's see what comes up. So we have music reference, nonfiction music lyrics. Let's see. Probably nonfiction music general. And then if you had a particular, like if this was piano, vocal, guitar, printed music, something in here, you could pick one of those. So we're going to start with nonfiction music and see. So we're going to go to nonfiction. You're going to go down to music. And you could put, you can pick up to 2. You can put general and printed music. Maybe this is for piano, keyboard. We'll say that. Save. Okay. Remember, we were going to fill those out. Now, adult content is things that would be inappropriate for people under 18. There's nothing adult content about this. There's nothing that I wouldn't show someone small. You're going to hit save and go to the next place. And this is where you're going to start adding in the things that you have downloaded. So you're going to hit assign me a free KDP. And you could choose, if you have your own, you could buy them, but they're pretty expensive in the US. They're like $100. And if you buy them in bulk, they're like 80 or something each, but they're still pretty expensive. So I'm going to use the free one because it's free. And here was all the different colors of paper. If you accidentally, it's standard as black and white. If you accidentally get color, it's going to, doesn't matter if you have one color page or all of them color page, it's going to charge you as if every single page had color. So these color options are expensive because they're using color. For this particular thing, there is no reason to put anything other than black and white. I'm going to select a different size. 8 by 10 was what I had. And remember, no bleed, because in the beginning, don't do that. Matte and glossy, this is kind of a personal choice. I do glossy for kids, matte for kind of anything else. Black, though, if you're going to use something black, matte does not look, it gets like fingerprints, and people complain about that. So if you're going to do like a flat black, glossy might be a better thing to choose. Now, since mine has kind of that grunge distress look and it's not all black, I think this matte is going to be just fine. Now what you're going to do is you're going to click and basically upload your manuscript. So I'm going to upload it. You don't have to watch it. So it uploaded it. This is the manuscript is your interior. It's not showing it. It'll show it in just a second. But I uploaded the actual the paper, the lined inside. So the manuscript is the interior. Okay. The next thing I'm going to upload is you have the choice between their cover creator. Remember I told you their cover creator? You can try it. It's just not so good. So I'm actually going to do that PDF one, and I'm just going to upload the file, the PDF file that I had from Bookbolt. I clicked on it, dragged the file over, and it's going to upload. Now, what I usually do is wait until it just kind of finishes uploading. This does take some time sometimes. It depends how busy their server is. Sometimes I'll let it sit here and then come back later. If you have several books that you're going to upload at once, you can open up another tab and upload several. But once it's all done, we're going to hit Launch Previewer, and that's where you can check it out. All right, so now it's finished processing. You can see that it's showing my cover. And so I'm going to hit Launch Previewer, and I'm just going to have it open and then look and see if it looks okay. It's open, and I'm just going to look through it. The pages look good. The big thing is on this type of book, I want to look at the cover, make sure everything looks centered, looks like it looks good, and it looks how I want it to. I also try and preview on the thumbnail just to make sure everything kind of looks good. All right, once I've done that, I'm going to hit Approve. And it's going to take me back, and then I'm going to go to the next thing. You're going to see the printing cost, it's $2.15, and that will make sense in the next page when you set your pricing. So I'm going to hit Save and Continue, and I'm moving to the next page, which is where I'm going to set my pricing. You can set where you're going to sell it. You can set all territories or individual, and your primary marketplace. Mine would be Amazon.com. Now I'm going to put a price in. Pricing, you want to look and see what's out in the market. $6.99 or $5.99 probably for a book like this. You're going to look. Expanded distribution is really if it has more content. So this is blank inside. I'm not going to click expanded distribution. This takes it and sends it out to other channels, but since it's a blank notebook, it'll deny being able to go there. So you can set the Amazon price. You can also go through and set what makes sense for your UK or that, 99, 95, maybe you want to do something like 35 there, something like that. But you can go through and set those pricing. And right here you can see what your royalty rate is, 60%, and your royalty will be $2.04. So for a $6.99 and 100 some page book, you get about $2 per book. Now what you're basically going to do is you're going to hit Publish Your Book. If you're not quite done, you want to check it over later. Sometimes if you're making these, it's always good to maybe hit Save as a draft and check it. But you're just going to hit Publish Your Paperback, and there you go. You can see how Bookbolt really helps you get a book together, and then you can just publish it to KDP, and it really doesn't take that long. So I just wanted to show you that I think that Bookbolt is a great resource for somebody who's starting out, doesn't know exactly what they're doing. This can really help make it easier, and definitely go and check out their free resources because they've got a lot of great interiors for those of you who are just starting. Thanks so much. I hope this was helpful. If you like my channel, please like and subscribe to Publish with Ashley, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks.